Hey, I'm Tommy Trin, welcome back to another day of Cooking with JK, and today I'll be making my specialty fried rice. And in my specialty fried rice, we have the rice, obviously, white rice. I use white rice. We have here regular onions, green onions, frozen vegetables, barley tea, chicken broth, and we have Chinese sausage or Taiwanese sausages. And we have spinach, here. We have chicken thighs and chicken legs, boneless, it's already prepped for you. We have cashews, you have eggs, you have pineapple, raisins, and curry. So the original recipe was very basic. It didn't have like half these ingredients. And I learned this recipe starting off from my mom and grandma. And we used to fried rice like every week. And the original ingredients were just rice, soy sauce, vegetables, and hot dogs. We used hot dogs instead. It was the fastest way to do things. And then I started experimenting with stuff with my mom and grandma, and adding more stuff in, and then it kind of evolved, and I got to college and I got more into cooking. Then I started adding random stuff, like things like other cultures that I got involved with, or like friends and stuff like that. I started like going out and eating Taiwanese sausages and Chinese sausages and stuff like that. So I started adding that to my fried rice. And then the chicken thing becomes from like, I guess, Thai food, and you're looking for, oh, my rice is done. Chicken usually came from a lot of Thai restaurants I went to, so I started implementing chicken into my fried rice, and of course, obviously eggs. Eggs is an awesome addition to fried rice, and this originally from also my parents or my grandma and mom's cooking. Pineapple, with the pineapple, why I have a pineapple is because also Thai food, pineapple fried rice. Same with the raisins, you usually use raisins in Thai fried rice. And the curry is very mixture, it's also Thai, Japanese, Indian, we all use that, but this is kind of different, and why I use this one, I'll kind of show you guys later why I use this one. And cashews is a nice addition, also used in Thai and other ethnicities, I can't remember why I use it. And it gives the texture, I like the texture of cashews being cooked with the fried rice. Why I use these two, and you're wondering why I have tea and why I have chicken broth. The chicken broth evolved from eating Hainan chicken. If you guys never had Hainan chicken, the rice is cooked in chicken broth or chicken fat. They cook the chicken and whatever's left in the pot, they use that broth to cook the rice with. But since we don't have that time to cook a bunch of chicken, we keep it generic and buy chicken broth at any supermarket. And the barley tea, reason why I like the barley tea is because of the flavor of the barley, and it keeps the rice in a nice coat. I don't know how to explain it. I just like the flavor. That's all I can keep. That's the simplest way I can keep it. It's the flavor of the tea and the flavor of the chicken broth combined together with the rice. Awesome. So the rice is done, and then in the rice cooker I throw in the vegetables and these two. And the reason why I throw in the vegetables with the rice is because you can cook it faster and everything's cooked at once, and then once it's all done you can throw all that stuff into the frying pan and just fry it all at once. When the rice is being cooked, what I like to do is have all the meats prepped and stuff like that. Here we have the onions, green onions. I like to put it in the pan separately, so we get to cook that separately from the rice itself. Reason being because once you cook, like you caramelize the onions, the green onions, it goes well with the meats, so I like to fry those two together and then fry separately, and once those are all done, I put it together, mix it up, and then last a minute frying, and then there you have your dish. But let's get started then. Alright, cool, so we have the green onions here, it's already prepped cut. I'm not cooked, I didn't cook it yet. You don't want to use too much because it can be overpowering in flavor, so this is about a good amount. This is like 2 inches. In a batch that you get from like any supermarket, and you kind of cut them into smaller pieces. Oh, nice. There you go. And you're gonna add this at the end of everything, because if you overcook green onions, it becomes just this mushy muck, and it just kind of tastes kind of gross. A lot of people have a problem cutting onions. I found a trick that you leave a bowl of water next to the onions, cutting onions. Actually, you won't start crying. So let's get that going. Which I don't have a bowl of water yet, so that's my fault. I don't know where I learned this this water bowl trick. Maybe I saw it on like YouTube or something, or a cooking show, and I just started using it and it ended up working. Spice it up. So all the vegetables and the onions are cut. Now we're gonna move on to the meats. And the reason why I like these two meats, you can get generic chicken anywhere. It doesn't have to be from any certain market. It's just regular chicken. It can be chicken breast too, and Chinese sausages. You can get this almost at like any supermarket, any Asian supermarket. It has it. You have 99 Ranch, it has like they have all the Chinese sausages there. You guys don't know what this is? Sausages but Asian style, they use pork or chicken, just all pork. The difference between this sausage and the other sausages, it's more sweet. It has a lot of fats in it. So when it comes to cooking these guys, you don't have to use much oil, because once you start cooking it, all the oils from this sausage comes out and you can start using that oil to cook other stuff. And it's very important to cook these guys thoroughly. Reason being because it is pork. And with Chinese sausages, you never know where they come from. So they're linked up like this. It's like nunchucks. I do not have nunchuck skills, but I wish I did. It's kind of weird because now I got shit all over my shirt. Great, awesome. Like 2 of these sausages is good enough for 1 cup of rice. With every cup of rice, you use 2 more sausages. And they are salty and sweet. And that's what I like about it. Savory and sweetness goes very well together. The meats are ready. Now what you're gonna do is move on to the chicken. Remember also you have to cook chicken very well as well. Same with the chicken here. Cut them into small pieces because it's gonna be hard to actually fry them if they're a whole piece like this. Yes, Bolt? He wants chicken. I usually give Bolt raw chicken, but not today. He's like hovering over this area. I learned this recipe when I was around 8 years old. I wasn't really helping the kitchen yet. I was really just watching my mom and my grandma make food. This recipe went through about 6 different changes. When I was living on my own, I got to experiment more with stuff, because living at home and you trying to like request things or like maybe ask your mom to add stuff in, it doesn't fly with them. So when I went to college, living on your own and living with your like college friends and stuff like that at the time, you got to experiment with lots of different ingredients. And not only that, because when I got into college, I also got into lots of foods, different types of foods, and I got to explore. And because of me going out more, that definitely expanded my taste palettes and stuff like that. All the restaurants I started liking, I started trying to implement their flavors, try to figure out what they use. When I was in college, we had our own apartment, and we used to cook like 4 times a week or so. That was that. And then when I moved into the house with Joe and everybody else, at our old pad, like a year ago or something like that, 2 years ago, I used to cook every day, and it was like a lot of fish and a lot of chicken. That was like my main diet, fish and chicken. We would make pho sometimes with can and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, besides that, as JK expanded and we got busier and more projects came about, we ended up not cooking as much. Even the whole household, all of us used to cook a lot, and we haven't been cooking as often as we used to. But it is also satisfying cooking, in my opinion. It's like I think it's like a sort of therapy. You get to mess around with food and get really hands-on with the food you're making, and then the fun fact is like testing it, feeding it to your friends and seeing if they like it or not. And if they don't like it, you know what to change and you get their opinions, and then from there you can really figure out, this piece is not cutting. you can figure out what they like or not, or what you need to improve in. Cool. All the meats are cut. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna wash my hands and so I can touch other utensils. The reason why I have this giant pineapple is there's a story behind it. I used to go to this restaurant, and I discovered through a restaurant, I can't remember where, it was Redondo Beach, somewhere in the South Bay, LA area. And I went to a Thai restaurant, they served fried rice out of a pineapple. And I thought that was really cool. And what they did was they took the whole pineapple and they steamed it too. And what they did is they cut the top off, obviously the top's not there. And they keep the top, and they carved the entire pineapple inside out, and they used that pineapple inside the pineapple to cook the fried rice with. But then they would put the fried rice they cooked inside the pineapple, and then they put the top back on and they serve it that way to you. And I thought that was a really like cool way of doing it. And I started doing that in college, but today we don't have time to carve out that stuff because I don't have the tools. So we're just gonna make simple pineapple that's already pre-cut for you. And we're just gonna cut slices of it. So once all this cut, forgot to do this, is like actually prep the curry itself, and it's really the package, like this package you can get the Japanese curry, I like that. It's a little different flavor, but you can go to like any other supermarket and get regular curry powder or a curry mix, and then just throw it in a dish with the meats, and you cook it that way too. But this one's a little different. It's a pouch, and you literally just take this pouch and you throw it into a bowl of water for like 3 to 5 minutes. And then after that you use the curry, you add it into the fried rice, and you just mix it all together, and it's an awesome taste. But we'll get this going. It's pre-made, you don't have to worry about mixing all the powders and all that stuff for how other curries come in its different forms. The Japanese form, it's already in the sauce package. All you gotta do is throw it in boiling water or microwave. Best is boiling it in water for 3 to 5 minutes. And once 3 to 5 minutes is done, you get to pour it out. But since this is like prep curry, you can eat it straight out of the bag. I'm gonna end up adding this to my fried rice later and frying it with the fried rice. First, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this pan. It's about a teaspoon, or a spoon, sorry, spoon. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. Alright, cool. Now add the onions. Bam. Where's every Asian household has this. So yeah. We get the onions going. The onions will start releasing its like juices and stuff, and all that juice and oils that come from the onions would be kind of cool to cook with the meats. Onions going, so what we're gonna add next is the Taiwanese sausages, because these just have a lot of fats and oils too. We can add it right onto the frying pan so we can cook with the onions. Not the best choice of meat to use when it comes to healthiness, but it makes the dish really good. That's what I like about it. So I don't cook with button-ups and long sleeve all the time. This is like kind of the first thing I pulled up, just to look fancy in the video just for you guys. But now that's not the reason why. I just kind of threw it on. Usually I don't wear nice shirts when you cook. Maybe you watch all cooking shows, they wear these nice suits and like stuff like that, or nice like attire. But who the hell cooks like that? Who the hell cooks like this? Why are you're not watching a professional cooking show? Why the hell am I wearing a button-up? It doesn't make any sense. And then what also matches my attire is the flip-flops. You gotta keep it homey, you know, you gotta keep it like really original. That's how you roll. And somehow me wearing nice shirts and stuff when I'm cooking, somehow I always get dirty. So it's a terrible idea to wear nice things when you're cooking. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why you also have aprons too. And we have aprons here somewhere, I just don't know where it is. So what we're doing now is we're waiting for all the oils and stuff to combine. And from that, we're gonna add in the chicken. And the chicken's not marinated, it doesn't sit in the sauce or anything. So a lot of people like to marinate chicken just to have, because chicken's very bland to a lot of people and it's not salty or anything. So a lot of people like to add salt and pepper and like other stuff to chicken, but for this one, since the Taiwanese sausages and the onions really have a sweetener and like a saltiness to it, it already adds the flavor to the chicken, so you don't have to add any more like sauces, because it's gonna like kind of overdo the whole flavor, you know what I mean? So you don't want to overkill on the whole dish. Since this whole like this fried rice dish I'm making, it already has a lot of flavor in itself. No point of overkilling on the seasoning. And what I'm gonna add now is the chicken. Sorry. And the people that usually eat this stuff is my housemates, the college students, or I don't know. It's one of those just quick meals. And it's like, I wouldn't say it's like the best, but it satisfies, in my opinion. Doing this dish a lot, I don't know if it got better, because I just use the same ingredients over and over, and I haven't had time to sit down and like really think of improving it in some formal way. But there's always like, when it comes to cooking, it's all about temperature and how much like ingredients you use, because sometimes if you overdo it, it kills the flavor, and if you underdo it, the flavors don't come out. So it varies. I remember there's times where like in between like making this dish, there were dishes that came out a little less bland, or like just bland. There are times where the flavor stood out a lot. It's all about consistency, right? You cooking it the same, and that's something that is a hit or miss for me. With the whole making fried rice is literally like a Asian casserole. You just kind of take everything and just throw it in a frying pan and just fry it all together. And because of that style, you kind of overlook certain things when it comes to like more on like flavor wise. And because of that, everything kind of slips your mind when it comes to cooking fried rice. So the consistency sometimes it changes. It changes because maybe you end up not using green onions that day, or you don't end up putting in certain nuts, or you don't use egg, or you don't use whatever because you don't have it. So yeah, it's the majority of the time the ingredients here is the same ingredients you guys will always have in my fried rice. It's just that this is not the dish I always make. This is one of the things that kind of first popped in my head, so that's why I'm making it for this video. The meats are pretty much done, and what I added in the raisins, so like half a cup of raisins, no, actually less than that. I don't remember, like a handful of raisins and a handful of cashews. And the raisins, literally, it's a sweetener, and the cashews, it's a texture. So most of these stuff is like, there's different textures in my fried rice. You have the softness to the crunchiness of nuts. After that, you know, you're gonna add the vegetables and stuff like that. So you get this going, turn the heat a little higher. And you don't wanna cook this over too much because you're gonna end up burning the cashews, and that's no bueno. You don't want burnt cashews. Now add in the rice. So it burnt a little bit. The reason being because of the tea and the chicken broth, but that's okay because you're gonna end up frying it anyways. Usually when the steamed rice like this comes straight to a frying pan, you try not to mix the rice too much because it ends up being mushy. That's why I preferred having the rice a day old, is because most of the water already has left the rice, so it's easier to fry. What makes it easier, you guys have a wok at home? You guys know what a wok is? It's like a giant ass frying pan. You guys see the Chinese restaurants, those giant like bowls like this? This is huge. It's just a wok. It makes frying rice a lot easier. Oh, we do have a wok. I'm not using it. That's my bad. The original, when I started picking up on cooking, it wasn't a reason of flirting and picking up on girls or any kind of thing like that. It was more on me just experimenting and messing around with food. And I guess that's a thing girls like, if the guy can cook. Is that a thing girls like? But there has been many occasions where I've used my cooking skills to pick up on chicks. Oh, so one of my specialty dishes I also make is like French filet mignon. And I use that to my advantage. It's one of my specialty dishes. It's a mixture between Vietnamese and French cuisine. And filet mignon, you know what it is? It's a cut of meat and it's like very tender and stuff. And I make rice with that with like vegetables and asparagus. And it's small too. It's like really like this big. And I've used that. And it's pretty good. Most people that had it, even the boys love it. So I use that dish on before. I even use like bringing home sashimi or like cutting up fish at home and having sushi at home. I've done that before too. I hit up on a girl with fried dumplings before too. So yeah, I think when it comes to cooking, it's very cool. I think everybody loves food, or most people I've encountered like food. Always a great conversation starter too, is when talking about food. And you end up like finding out what the person likes, and if you never made that before, try making it. It's also a fun experience for you. You pick up like different skills and life skills in a way, whatever you call it. And later down the line, you're like, oh yeah, I can cook this for my kid, or yeah, I can cook this for my family, whatever it is. And I think that's what's the cool part about knowing how to cook. If you know how to cook, it's fine too. You can just buy it and bring it home. So what you do is let it sit for a little bit, so one side of the rice gets fried, and then once you wait for about like 30 seconds or so, and then after that you flip it again. And then another 30 seconds, and you flip it again. Yeah. So once the rice gets slightly more brown, then we can add in the other vegetables, because spinach cooks really fast. If you guys know, you throw spinach in, it cooks super fast, and it gets all mushy. You don't want it to be too mushy, and same thing with the whole like, green onions. You add that in last, and now, so next step, you add in the eggs. You make a little hole here, right here, in the middle of the frying pan, and you're gonna crack open an egg here. This is good. Now we're gonna start adding the eggs. Some of you guys like this stuff to be the yolk there, but not this time. We're gonna have to mix it up. The rice I'm using today, it's like short rice, so it's just a lot shorter. I mean, obviously it's called short rice. Short rice is white, it's a Japanese brand. And my opinion, if you guys ever make fried rice, I prefer you guys to get jasmine rice. It's a little longer. It's the Chinese ones you can get at any Chinese supermarket. And those rices, the reason why they prefer using it is because it's the texture, and it's more aromatic. Like, it smells better, right? And it's easier to cook fried rice with it. With this one, it's shorter, small, it holds a lot more water. So fried rice, it will take a little longer, and sometimes the consistency is it may come out maybe mushy because of so much water it soaks in. So all this pineapple here, it's good sweetener, and the citrus adds a good flavor, there's additional good flavor to all the saltiness in here. Balances out the Chinese sausages, which are salty itself. And now the green onions. And we're gonna add the spinach last, reason being because spinach, it cooks really fast and becomes mushy. And the reason why I use spinach is because you see all this is like carb galore, and there's not really much vegetables in it besides the steamed vegetables. And I guess you want to stay healthy in a way, you have spinach. Spinach is a good, healthy choice of vegetables. So that's good. It's about a good time now. You add in the spinach, and about a handful is fine. When you cook spinach too, it actually shrinks by a lot. So you think this is like a lot of veggies, it's actually not. It's gonna really look really small once like it starts cooking. I'm gonna add in some sesame oil. This adds a nice smell and flavor to the fried rice. And you guys haven't smelled like sesame oil before, it's amazing. And the reason why you don't cook with this is because if you cook with sesame oil, it's gonna burn and your food's gonna taste very bad. So you add this stuff as almost like a flavor and aroma to your food. There you go, just like that, and you mix it up a little bit. All right, so this is going. Curries are pre-cooked. Alright, so what we're gonna do is add in the curry. For this stuff, you don't want to add too much because, you know, at the end of the day, it's gonna make it mushy. This is just for the curry flavor. If you guys like curry, this is a great addition to the dish itself. Bang! Cool, now the fried rice is done. Since we're not serving it in a pineapple, we're just gonna put it on a plate and nicely present it to y'all. So this is it. Oh, I haven't spread, this one didn't turn brown, but it's okay. This mixture of all the ingredients that I guys showed you, and hopefully this tastes good. All right, here we go. Not bad. It's missing something though. I don't know what's missing. You know what? It might be the texture of the rice, because I'm usually used to like more dried rice. This one's a little slightly more moist, so that's probably it. But overall, the flavor, I like it. It's not bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments below what do you guys think about this dish, or what if I should add any more stuff to it, or take out stuff. I don't know. Maybe you guys are more professional chefs than I am. I'm just here just having fun. To check out other JK videos and other dishes that other members made, click right over here.
I think it's kind of like directing. The way directing works, it's like you won't ever know if you're a good director for movies or for videos sake until you actually do it, right? But in order to do that, you need to find actors, you need to have a script, you need to have, you know, just about everything